before we get into it, you guys know I have a love-hate relationship with AMC theaters.
No.
No, like love because I worked there for many years. I actually have a real spot in my heart that will always, I'll always have love for AMC theaters. I still know a number of the people who work at AMC theaters that I think are great. That being said, just because I have this natural bias for them, and they are the movie theater that I go to. It's AMC theaters are my theater of choice. 90% of the time when Ann and I go to the movies, we go to an AMC theater. Shout out to the folks over at the AMC Riverside Tyler Galleria, AMC 16 there. But at the same time, they frustrate me to no end. In my personal opinion, they have the most incompetent CEO in all of America, not just the movie theater industry, but in all of America. I think the guy's an absolute buffoon. Again, like to give the opposites. I know some people who know him, and they all say he's actually a very nice guy. So I feel bad saying that because apparently he's a nice guy. And I do want to shout that out, but I also think he's been an incompetent CEO. And I think he's done a number of things as CEO of AMC that are absolutely fireable, and he shouldn't be there. As well as a number of other things they do as a company drive me crazy. So I love them, but they drive me crazy at the same time. A short time ago, a couple of months maybe now, we did this story where, AMC theaters had hit one of their lowest points ever as far as their value, their stock, all that kind of stuff. I think at the time it hit around a low of about $3 and something a share. You got to understand, what was it? $600? When the meme stock happened, their value shot up to like $600.
Well, yeah, adjusted with the reverse. It was like 72 at the time. Yeah. But there's been a reverse split. So
right. Well,
yeah.
Then back in August of 2023, they did this 10-to-1 reverse split. Now, at that time, that means for every one stock, they then split that into 10. So clearly, when you do a 10-to-1 stock split, the value is going to come down, brought down to about $7. About $7 a share. Well, according to a report in Deadline, AMC Entertainment shares tumble to new low on top of another 10% drop with attendance dropping, 10% drop in attendance in the fourth quarter. I want us to look at this chart. This chart is only the last 6 months. This is the last 6 months. They had a value 6 months ago of $3.17. They have dropped 59.2% in 6 months down to where they are at right now, which I think is about $1.19. Just in the last 6 months. Now, if you want to go out wider to a year, they've dropped 65% in the last year, at one point holding a high of about $4. If you want to go 5 years, again, this is when they had the stock split, or not the stock split. This is when the meme stock happened, and they had
short squeeze, yeah.
$650 a share. Now, of course, it dropped. Then you get into here, this right here, August of 2023. They had a value of $50, $54, $55. Then they did the stock split and went down to about $13, then down to about $7. But since that time at $7, they've lost another 80% of their value. They are down, once again, just looking at the last 6 months. Now, if you might be thinking, and I understand this, if you're tempted to think, well, hey, it must be hard for all movie theaters right now. And it is hard for all movie theaters right now. But again, look at this chart. This is the chart of AMC theaters for the last 6 months. They've dropped 59.92%, basically 60% in the last 6 months. You go over to the next biggest competitor who's on the stock market, Cinemark. Well, they must have dropped like 60% too. No, they've dropped 2%. Cinemark's dropped 2%. Their value's at $25 a share, whereas AMC is at about $1.20. Now, look, I am not sitting here pretending this is a apples to apples comparison. Each theater chain has their own set of circumstances. I'm saying that right up front. There absolutely is. However, even without the comparison to something like Cinemark, 60% drop in the last 6 months when it had already dropped a ridiculous amount down to that high point. Remember, 6 months ago, the high point was $3. After the stock split, the 10-to-1 stock split, it was 13. It dropped all the way down to 3, continue to drop and drop and drop. Look, there are some things AMC Theaters does really well, and some things that they just refuse to get their head out of the sand. And by the way, a number of the problems with AMC, I am not representing, are exclusive to AMC. There are some of these problems that are industry. Well,
I love
maybe
that
not.
Onward is the picture on that movie.
Yep.
Did not do as well as they'd hoped.
By the way, well, of course, that was right at the outset of the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
But that where those Onward posters are, that was our original AMC movie news office.
Yeah.
That was a storage. That big round room was a big storage closet, and they gave it to us to use to launch AMC Movie News out of. And for a couple of years, that's where we did AMC Movie News from. However, that being said, there are some of these issues that, of course, other movie theaters have as well. But AMC is the largest movie theater chain in the world. By hook or by crook, they are the ones that need to lead the way and set the example and be the path blazer for the movie theater industry. They're the biggest in the world. And while they do some things certainly well, and I try to make sure we call out when they do some things well, they have great screens. They've done a marvelous job renovating a large percentage of their theaters over the past 6-7 years and upgrading the theaters. They really have, and they deserve all the credit in the world for that. And I try to give it whenever I can. At the same time, they still lead the way with prices, and not in a good way. I remember working at that AMC theater. I was shocked one time when I went, $15 for a ticket that screening. Now there's screenings you can go to at AMC theaters where you're coughing up to $24. Still a much cheaper night out than going to the bar. Still a much cheaper night out than going to a club. Still a much cheaper night out than going to a hockey game. Still a much cheaper night than doing almost anything. But compared to itself, I mean, we've been seeing massive price increases. AMC's been leading the way in their price increasing, both with their ticket sales, which has something to do with the movie theater industry as a whole, but also in terms of their concessions. Their concessions are wildly expensive. They've been offering some good deals, give them credit, but massively expensive. They also lead the way with a ridiculous amount of time that they expect you as a paying customer, to sit through commercials. 30 minutes worth. Oh, Rob, they tell you in the app now, the movie will start 20 to 25 minutes. My last visit to AMC theaters, lies. It was 30 minutes after the advertised start time of the movie. 30 minutes after the advertised start time of the movie that movie actually started. Can you imagine buying a video game, dropping down money, paying money, buying a video game, and every time you loaded up your PS5, sit back and relax. These 30 minutes of commercials we're going to show you. You're thinking, wait a minute, I paid for this game. Yeah, too bad. Sit down and watch 30 minutes of commercials before you start getting to play Kratos or whatever. You know? That's what's holding back the new Grand Theft Auto. They're trying to get the 45 minutes of trailers and commercials they're going to put in front of it. That's what's holding it back. Can you imagine paying for an article online? You know, sometimes you go to a place online that says, you got to pay for this article. Great. And you drop down some money to read a particular paper or whatever article online says, great. Now, before your reading pleasure, we'd like to present to you 30 minutes of commercials you got to watch before you do it. You wouldn't stand for it. I wouldn't stand for it. And it just makes the movie going experience worse. AMC leads the way in making movie going worse. They'll have Nicole Kidman telling you we make movies better. No, you fucking don't. You don't. Because you appear to have no respect for the people coming to your theaters. None. Anyway, that being said.
I don't think you were listening. She said heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
But then she said, well, it doesn't feel good.
No one knew that she was talking about the shareholders.
Yeah, they don't feel good. But, I mean, look, at some point, you got to be a board member of AMC and continue to look at a chart like this and see this huge, just down, 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 constantly down. At some point, you got to say, we either need to change the leadership or we need our leadership to make a change in direction and reevaluate our core philosophies about what we're doing. The number one job, Rob, I've been saying for years, of the movie theater is to make the movie-going experience as great as possible and to get more people in the doors. What AMC and some others have done has been, we're losing money, so we have two options. Do we try to get more people to come? That's option one. That's the sane option. And therefore, to get more people to come, we may need to make some changes about what our customer experience is like, how we treat our customers, how we value their time, how we value their money, all that kind of stuff. So philosophy number one, we're losing money. Let's get more people to come to the theaters. But that's not the one AMC chooses, Rob. See, there's a second option if you're losing money, which is not try to get more people to come. It's try to get more out of the people who already come. And that is the option that AMC has continued to choose. We don't choose to try to make it more appealing to come to our theater. What we are going to do is try to suck every last drop of money jizz out of the people who are faithful to our theaters and still actually come to our theaters. We're just going to try to get more money out of their wallets to make up for our shortcomings. The result of that is you make a worse movie-going experience, so fewer people come. Oh, fewer people are coming, we're losing more money. We got to try to get more money out of the people who are still coming, and the cycle continues. Like an abusive relationship. That's what AMC is. And I really like going to AMC Prime, and I really like watching my movies there. I really do. But again, this stock drop, their value continuing to go down more and more and more and more. Rob, at some point, they have to change leaderships or change direction. The definition of sanity is just keep doing what you're doing and expect different results. Now, look, that being said, am I tempted to buy up some shares of AMC right now? Well, it looks like a pretty good 2026. I don't think AMC is going to go back to $10 a share, but you buy some. By the way, this is not financial advice. I'm just talking for me. If I could buy some shares at about $1.20 and it goes up to $3, it's nearly tripling my money. I'm a little tempted. But again, anyway, Rob, are you surprised to see just how low these stocks have fallen and how far can they go before they make a change?
Well, I'm very surprised to see how low that they've gone. But obviously, AMC also spends an incredible amount of money. They have, as we've talked about on the show, they have the highest grossing theaters in America in places that are very expensive to have theaters, which is why they're so successful. And yeah, you have to figure out ways of getting people into the theaters using innovative ways. I mean, why do people go to the theaters? To see movies. That is your core business. Now, I understand people would then say, well, Rob, they make most of their money by selling concessions and those kinds of things. But also, you want people to come to your theaters to see films. And I would say this, I've been spending a lot of time. I've been two-timing on the Harkins Mountain Grove 16, which I'm sorry. I've been going to the Regal Irvine Spectrum.
Which we're both going to go to watch Project Hail Mary in 2 weeks.
Since I've been going to the Regal Irvine Spectrum, there's lots of fun stuff that happens in terms of movie going. Like I've said this before, on Halloween, they showed Friday the 13th 3D, and they put it in Auditorium 13.
Which was clever.
Which everybody was thinking there. And you go to that theater, I saw people dressed up to go see Melania. You know, and there's always something going on. They're always screening Blade Runner the other day. And there's always something going on at this theater. The people at the bars, the bartenders at the two bars they have there, are hilarious. They're totally gregarious people. I look forward. Like, I would go hang out at the Regal Spectrum at the bar, one of the two bars, just to hang out there. Because we talk movies and have funny conversations, and the people come up. People have come up to me that don't even know I'm on the show, and they start just chatting with me in a movie theater. It's fun to go there. And if you walk into the Irvine Spectrum, the whole thing looks like a dance club. I'm like, I want to start spinning here, and I want to use that big neon. Anyway, that's beside the point. But that's what AMC has to do. They have to create a culture of cinema that is more fun than just going to see the latest release. Mm-hmm. You have to want to go. Harkins is the same way. They put in another Cine XL theater close where I have the people that work there. Like, you get to know them. They know you, and you have to make it a destination spot. And it can't be just like, we have to get as much people in as we can, take their money, and then they go on their way. No, you have a loyalty program. Why don't you make it worth people's while to come visit your venue and want to hang out? I don't know what that looks like, but all I can tell you is that going to the Irvine Spectrum, there's more than just seeing a movie there. It's not just that they have a 15 perf 70 millimeter IMAX theater. It's a great IMAX theater. Like when you go into that IMAX theater, it's like being in a line, in Disneyland. You go down these long corridors and it's all
like you're going into an event.
Yeah, you're going to, and at the AMC Burbank, when you go into the Dolby Cinema, it's the same thing. You go down this corridor and it's all lit up and it's like this, like, yeah, man, this is so cool. I mean, everything about being there is like, I don't want to leave. I go to the Irvine Spectrum, I'm like, heck, man, I'd stay here all day. AMC's got to figure out a way to create that in their customers. And I don't know how, but they have to just do something different because, dude, these stock prices, these aren't just low. These are awful. These are company ending stock prices. They've got to, and look at that chart you showed. Not good.
Yeah. And again, I think there are some basic fundamentals, but it's a matter of setting what their overall philosophy is. And
yeah.
I just think their philosophy is stuck somewhere in 1974. And I think they need to change their leadership. And I'm sure it's going to be a really interesting time when I go to CinemaCon this month. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? AMC stock continues to drop like a rock in a lake. How much farther can it go before they either change philosophies or change leadership? I don't know. Whatever you guys think about this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.